What is up, guys and girls? Welcome to episode number 163 of the Nonsense Review. That's right, you can play an episode for each and every floor of the Burj Khalifa.
Okay, I like that one.
I'm glad you did. I think I pronounced it correctly.
Oh, that's good enough. I know what you mean.
Fair enough. I'm your host as always, Devon, and joining me equally as always is Rick.
Hello, everybody.
Today we're doing something that we originally were going to do all the way back in January, but then we didn't. Did we have a theme month in January, or did we just push it?
I think time makes fools of us all. But yes, Muppets.
Those of you familiar with the podcast know, but before we actually jump into the meat of the review itself, we like to talk about our weeks and the goings-on in the wide universe. So with that in mind, Rick, how's your week been, buddy?
Been a rather barren week for me this week. This week was the 30th anniversary of Homer retreating into the bush.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, the original episode aired 30 years ago. Obviously, that's now reached meme status. Fallout has been revived for Season 2, which, good. I'm enjoying it. I know you're not super big on post-apocalypses.
Oh, it's not that. I'm just not super big on Fallout in general. It never jived with me. I will say I saw an interesting post on Reddit where people did the math, and apparently by the end of Season 1, the main character is about the level of a rad roach.
Sure. Yeah. So far, she revealed her stats in the beginning of the first episode, and she's used none of them. Her worst thing is speech, and she tries to de-escalate everything with speech.
Well, to be fair, even if you're bad at it, that is, like, the sane person's first response to most things is to be like, hey, can we not shoot each other over a can of beans?
Yeah. Speaking of post-apocalypses, the pre-apocalypse of Carol and the End of the World, I ended up going back and watching more of it now.
Well, Rick, this is very funny, because on my notes, I finished the damn thing.
Okay, yep. I think I'm on episode 4 now. And yeah, it's very much something that's better watched alone than reacted to.
I 100% agree. You've met the two supporting characters now, haven't you?
Yeah, Luis and Donna.
Yeah, I absolutely adore Luis.
Yeah.
I absolutely adored as well, very early on, they got out the window of the whole fucking hyperbole of, you know how every show has a fucking, this is the secret fan theory of everyone's actually dead, and Luis in the episode just goes, I've got a theory, I think we're all dead and this is purgatory, and I was cackling and clapping like a madman. That's so funny.
Yeah, having to watch everyone else have fun in what they consider heaven, while the people who crave structure have to take place at have to indulge in the distraction.
I will say, this series, first of all, it's very thought provoking. The early episodes, not they probed our mind a little bit, Rick, because we even addressed it when we watched it for the show, where that was one of the longest post-episode discussions we've ever had, just because it tickled us that much.
Yeah, totally.
There are some episodes that are just pure artsy-fartsy, and I appreciate that. And there are some episodes that are just depressing, but not in the same way that BoJack Horseman is depressing. And
because the whole situation is depressing and you know it. Whereas with BoJack, it's just the world with a little bit of ridiculous bent added on.
No, not
and it's BoJack that's depressing.
Not even that. It's like it's depressing because it makes you think of things.
Sure.
But yeah, anyway, we'll get to that, I'm sure, when you actually finish watching it.
The other thing is, when I was there, I realised I'd not watched the Scott Pilgrim finale again, so I finally watched that. And yeah, it ties things off with a neat little bow, leaves things open for a season 2. But the big bit of news that I've seen, I've chopped and changed around between World and me, is that NASA plans to send a nuclear-powered robot dragonfly to Titan, the largest moon of Saturn.
What do they mean by dragonfly? Is that just a specification of probe, or...?
No, they're basically trying to create an ornithopter.
Use words I understand, Rick.
So long body, many wings.
So they are literally trying to mimic a dragonfly shape, is what you're telling me?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool. But what is it? Is it actually a probe to examine things, or is it just if they can get a ship that far? What's the purpose?
I think it is meant to be a probe.
Right, okay.
And I think their rationale behind it being nuclear powered is that they don't think they can get strong enough solar energy to it, unlike the Mars rover.
Here's the thing: I'm in a weird place when it comes to nuclear power, because I don't automatically think the word nuclear is a bad, dirty word, which a lot of people think. Like, I've got no issue with that. I don't think many people will. Like, nuclear energy is remarkably efficient.
Oh yes, and all told, kinda clean.
It's clean in the sense that, okay, if you compare nuclear nuclear energy to coal or oil, it's no fucking contest as to what's cleaner, because nuclear beats it by a country mile. The problem people have with nuclear energy is because everyone's seen the fucking Simpsons, and they think that the amount of nuclear waste a power plant produces is the same amount as the Simpsons, when in truth, not even fucking close.
Yeah, you get a nugget. You get a spent nugget before they put the next nugget in. Yeah, it's not like toxic barrels of acid.
Suffice to say, I don't mind nuclear energy as long as I'm not the one who has to fuck with it, because I don't know shit about fuck.
Yeah. I'm similar, but I did do a little bit of study on it as part of my, studies. So it's one of the main things I disagree with the Green Party on, for instance, is their uninformed stance on nuclear energy.
I understand why people are scared, because people still remember Chernobyl.
Yeah. This probe is meant to launch in 2028 and is expected to arrive around 2034. So they're in it for the long haul, as usual, on NASA.
Yeah, man.
So yes, that's it for me and my week. How have you been? What have you seen? And what have you done?
I did some axe throwing with a buddy.
Yeah, you mentioned this to me privately.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I did a lot better than my buddy. My buddy hit the board once. Well, he hit the board loads of times. He got the axe stuck in it once.
Sure.
It's a good hour. If you got a place that offers it, I'd highly recommend it.
Last time I saw it advertised was in Melbourne. I'm sure this place is closer than Melbourne, obviously, since there's one in the country that you went to.
I mean, there's plenty of places in the country. Apparently, it's quite a popular bachelor/bachelorette activity to do.
Yeah.
I will say I do find it quite funny, because mentally I was preparing for like a 15-minute safety tutorial and stuff for how to properly axe throw, the proper form, the proper technique, safety measures and stuff. 2-minute conversation of don't throw the axe while someone's in front of the target, and I'm like thinking no shit, and then he threw the axe twice in 2 different ways and went, those are your 2 throwing styles, have fun, and then he pissed off.
Yep. You know what to do if someone else throwing an axe at you. You don't be there.
1 axe between 2 people, which means it was impossible to throw the axe with someone in front of the target anyway, unless you were deliberately being a twat.
Yep.
Rick, you ready for some news?
Yeah, let's go.
Ubisoft's up Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh, they've tried to extract every single piece of money out of everybody, which is the way that Ubisoft always does things, and yet people are somehow surprised now that they're doing it with Star Wars, because people have seen the massive success that other companies have had by releasing the whole game for the price of a game, whereas Ubisoft wants 1 2/3 the price of a game for the day one experience.
Yeah, so they've got 3 different price points. You got £70 for just the game. You've got, I believe, £90 for the game, and you get, I don't even know what you get. You get the
3 days pre-order bonus.
You get that, and you also get, I actually don't think you get the free, well, yeah, for that level you must do. But for 130 quid, which is nearly double, you get that, the 3-day early bonus, and you get the Jabba the Hutt mission that's been flaunted and advertised all the way up until now, and everyone thought was going to be in the base game.
Yeah, something that definitely is already made, and they've literally taken it away.
There's a reason why people don't like Ubisoft, because they've done this shit forever, as you point out. I've already been bitten once this year because my hype for Skull and Bones was running over, and, I've played about 3 hours of that game before going, this is shit.
Yeah.
I'm entirely confident that Star Wars Outlaws will be a fun game, but because Ubisoft is being Ubisoft, I'm going to wait 2 years for this to be 15 quid.
And on Steam.
Well, maybe on Steam, but I don't mind playing on PlayStation.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, on PlayStation it's a lot more palatable because you don't have to have a separate fucking launcher for every single thing. I've had to go and get the freaking EA launcher just because I finally felt like playing the first of the 2 Star Wars Souls games.
Okay, yeah.
Because I bought it however long ago and never ended up playing it. Partly because I had to go through the freaking launcher. And then my hard drive died after I finally downloaded it, so that's like 2 days worth of downloading wasted.
We've got bad internet down here, guys.
Oh, yeah.
It sucks. It's a real blow. I think the reason why this one's hitting people a bit harder is because you've got... Right, Rick, you and I think we describe ourselves as gamers in the sense that video games is one of our larger hobbies.
Yeah, we're not professional gamers, but we do game.
Yeah. I also don't like using the word gamer because it has some real negative connotations lately, but hey-ho diddly do.
The connotations have been given to the phrase by others.
Point being that I think this is hitting people harder because it's a Star Wars game, and Star Wars is more popular than video games in general, which means you've got casual people who don't actually play games that much. They might buy a game a month, if that, and even then,
or one a year even.
Well, yeah, but that type of crowd seems to stick to FIFA or COD.
Sure.
You know what I mean, though? It's like a game a month is not unreasonable for someone who's not into... I buy several games a month. Granted, most of them are, a $5 or something on Steam, but I buy a lot of games.
Yeah.
And because this is Star Wars, people who don't normally play games will be like, oh, I'll buy the game. What do you mean it's 70 quid and I don't get all the things?
Yep.
Welcome to our world. We've been fighting this battle since, I want to say, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era.
Yeah. Before that, when they wanted to release DLC, they'd re-release the game with the DLC, pretty much. Like, that was the Capcom special of, you never buy the game the first time because it's going to come out again.
Yeah, but that only bothered fighting game enthusiasts, at least.
Yeah.
But anyway, we can gripe about Ubisoft until the cows come home, and we do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about something else in video games that's a bit more optimistic. Fucking Hades 2.
Yeah. I saw some images shared.
Yeah, so a buddy of ours posted in the chat and said, my boy's in the game, and I went, okay, so that's going to be Odysseus. And I was like, I'm not looking up anything. But yesterday I was on Twitter doing Twitter things, as you do, and yeah, no, fuck it, I've just been spoiled on all the fucking... on all the character designs that have been dropped during the beta footage, and the art style's been updated. That's great. We've been given some new characters. Fuck me, if Hades 1 was Buy Panic for dudes, Hades 2 is Buy Panic for girls.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no reason for it, but Hecate has got an ab window, and fuck me, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, if you got it, flaunt it.
There are some big buff ladies in this game, and I live for that shit. We got a glimpse at Hephaestus's design. He's the forge of the gods, and he's got this cool thing going on where he's got a metallic leg and is in a wheelchair, and he has my body shape.
Okay.
Which, I appreciate, because there's not many people I can cosplay as, but I can maybe get away with this dude. Plus, I could sit down all day. But yeah, the game looks good. I can't wait. Everyone's a bit more invested in the plot because it turns out that no, in fact, Hades isn't the only one who's been captured. Zagreus has as well.
Okay, and that's why you can't play as him.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Again, top tier character design, but it's Hades. If you've seen any Hades footage or played Hades, you should play Hades.
Yeah.
Character design has always been top tier. We got some glimpses into future versions of characters we already know as well, like Aphrodite looks smashing, but of course she does. Demeter's wearing armor. Last two stories aren't exactly pleasant ones, Rick, so buckle up, buckaroo.
Okay, I'm buckled.
Female custodes are apparently a thing now. I don't actually give a fuck about this, but it's brought out that part of the fan base.
I don't know why they're so annoyed, because they're such kissless virgins that getting to touch something that looks like a woman should be a blessing rather than a curse.
That's a disgusting way of fucking addressing it, Rick.
Well.
Oh, Jesus. Well, it's one of those where I don't understand why putting women in other factions is a problem. I think the big problem is, in fact, that a lot of people have these weird egos where it's like, no, only men can be the best of the best.
Yeah.
The only thing I would ever take umbrage is if there were female space marines, as in proper space marines, it will make Fabius Bile look like a fucking idiot.
Because apparently there are female space marines, they just don't look any different because they're like super mutants in Fallout.
Yeah, except here's the problem, Rick, is in canon, Fabius Bile bitches about the Emperor for discarding 50% of the gene pool when making space marines. Which means at the very least, Fabius Bile thinks they're all men.
Yep.
And Fabius Bile is a biologist.
Yeah, he should know his shit, yeah.
He's got a massive hate hard-on for fucking Belisarius Kroll for making the fucking Primaris Marines.
Yeah, he does.
Because he's like, fuck, why? How did he beat me? Again, I wouldn't mind it. It would just make one of their characters look like a complete fuckwit.
Like, actually, I can see that being the actual counterpoint. Like, you've only got male space marines, but Chaos Space Marines can be anything, because Fabius Bile is more open-minded than the Imperium in general.
Well, case in point, half of his Space Marine Guard in that book that I read were his own creation of female Space Marines, and they were just Space Marines, but female.
Yeah.
It's as you said, like, you couldn't distinguish them until they spoke.
Chaos needs a size update. Yeah, when they released the Primaris and the Nurgle Marines alongside them for that one box set, I think it was like 2 editions ago maybe now, it really drove home how, okay, the big tall ones are the good ones and the little squat bastards bastards are the ones that you don't want to play as, which is not true at all in the game because, Nurgle Marines are actually still pretty good.
Yeah, but Nurgle players keep bitching because they keep losing their feel no pain rule.
Yeah.
Which is like 95% of their gimmick.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. Yeah, Warhammer fanbase continues to be fucking fetid, I guess.
Yeah.
It might be the vocal minority, but I doubt it. Rick, how do you feel about hashtag break the pencil?
I don't know how I'm meant to feel about this. I will need more information.
Alright, so AI art bros are... Yeah, this is their war cry now, and again, I use that loosely, where they're like, why are you bullying us for using AI art? We're going to break the pencil. As in, we're going to beat other artists. And it's like, fuck, this is a weird one, Rick.
Yeah, it is. It's as if they don't know that they need reference material, because other than that, they're just going to be cannibalizing pre-generated AI things for their own material, and that's just never going to go well.
Yeah, so what this is essentially... You shouldn't pay much attention to Twitter beef, but sometimes it's funny. But yeah, you remember when the NFT bros were going super hard on Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, same vibe, except now it's AI art bros.
Yeah, the difference being that NFT bros are trying to either sell or drum up interest for NFTs, so that their NFTs will be worth more, whereas the AI art people just want to not pay.
Yeah, there's been a lot of arguments on the AI side of things, including one of them being like, essentially, if you don't like AI art, you're being ableist, because not everyone can draw, and it's just like, do you listen to yourself speak?
Yeah, I've been playing around with the song creation tool, and the lyrics are very generic. The sounds are questionable at best with the cadence, but sometimes you get a banger. I would be furious if any of those made it into the top 10.
Okay.
It's just another thing of AI replacing a different kind of artist.
Yeah, but, man, when it comes to that, it's a different argument entirely, because that's just, I'm talking about the regular people who fucking play around with AI and just like, it's not hurting no one. And it's like, it is, because it's still stealing shit. But regardless of that, it's once more, it's the product of... I can't believe this is like the 5th time I'm saying this. It's the product of capitalism being a fuck, where you have executives in suits being like, okay, so we can pay one person to make an art, and maybe that art will be profitable. Or we can poke this machine that makes 30 pieces of art that are all shit, but if people buy it, it doesn't matter because we've sold 30 times the amount.
Yeah, and even if half of it goes unsold, then what's the problem? It's just taking up space on a hard drive somewhere.
It's like, it essentially boils down to, like, they don't see art as art, they see art as a product, which, alright, if you're trying to make a living off of art, then yes, you do have to sell your art as a product to a certain degree, but if you look at it as just a product, you're gonna be fucking miserable.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I take a pretty hard stance against AI in the first place. Like, I'm not one of these people who is AI bad blanket, but it is like, unless you're using AI as a tool to enhance something you've already done, it's got no place, I don't think.
Whereas I just play around with it. I don't sell anything, but I will do a pick of the week from things that have happened in whatever game I've been playing.
Sure, I still don't entirely agree with that, but I know I'm not going to change your mind on it, so what's the point? Rick, what are we doing today?
We're doing the Muppet Mayhem, Season 1, Episode 1, Track 1. Can you picture that? 3, 2, 1, and go.
Yeah, so the Muppet band is called Electric Mayhem. Oh, fuck me, I love this song.
Dr. Teeth.
Oh, it's weird seeing Muppets with legs.
It is.
How much did they pay Gene Simmons not to bitch at them for this?
Probably a lot.
Well, at least enough to satisfy him, because he is not the type to stay quiet about this sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's a banger of a song to start your series with.
Yeah. I'm bopping.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't like seeing Muppets with legs. I think this is a flashback to when times were good.
Before that happened, maybe.
So I don't know how they're going to go into detail to it, but the reason why Animal has chains on him is they literally had to chain him up in the OG lore, because otherwise he goes mental.
Yeah.
Thanks, dickhead. Oh, never mind, she's the dickhead.
Yeah. Yeah, she's special.
Uh,
And pay for your frappe.
like, man, that's a good way to be like, you can never go back there because you will get coffee spitting. Man, that's a lot of sugar.
Well, sriracha is the spicy stuff.
Yeah, but it had syrup in it as well, Rick.
Well, sriracha syrup was... Yeah.
Rick, I don't know if I'd be able to cope living in a world with Muppets.
Especially when a Muppet was your boss.
Wait, are you literally just a secretary and you're trying to get jumped up to manager?
Apparently.
Because that's ballsy. This is one of those shows.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the Muppets recently has been. Like the Muppets movie, not the most recent one because that was a sequel to it, but the one that was like the revival movie was getting rather real about
Okay.
when things fail.
Fair enough. I'm going to assume that's an actual person. Oh, it's Ryan Seacrest. Never mind. That's a person I don't know, but I've heard the name.
Yeah, I don't know the guy either.
It's the... in BoJack Horseman, the joke's always, I'm a Ryan Seacrest type.
I love how 70s-ish they'll make the footage look.
Yeah.
Rather wholesome.
Sergeant Floyd Pepper and dressed up like a Beatle. Classic.
Yeah.
There's always one person in every band who talks like that.
Yep. And always one like that as well.
I don't know Chris Stapleton, and I feel like people might come at me for that.
Yeah, me either. Like, I'm a million times more...
I've heard that name, but I don't know anything about his music. Lil Nas X we're talking about.
Yeah, yep. Okay,
Tommy
we know
Lee.
Tommy Lee.
Yeah. There's no way you'd be a successful band with never recording an album.
Yeah.
I get it. This is weird fantasy Muppet world, but man, I very nearly automatically clip skip intro because I'm so used to it.
I know, right?
I like leant forward and everything. I did. Sorry, go on.
Like I was on Netflix last night. I was also skipping intros.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did look at the titles of all the episodes, and they've laid it out like a track listing for an album, which I think's a cool touch.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that episode 1 was also called Track 1.
Yeah.
Oh, little animal hoodie.
Yeah. It was great because we couldn't actually hear your shit instrument playing.
Yep. A symbol of appreciation.
You can say that about a lot of vegan food.
Yep.
Like, it is the best you can hope for when you got fake meat. It's just like, it tastes good enough.
Yeah. Like, normally the best vegetarian alternatives are things that are not fake meat.
True. One of my favourite fucking clip images is of Willie Nelson hanging out with Electric Mayhem, and it just has the caption of, how the fuck is Willie Nelson the least stone looking dude in this picture? Oh no, Animal's got the yawn.
He does.
You know for a fact that van fucking stinks of skunk.
Yeah. And sweat.
I think the skunk will probably outweigh it.
Yeah.
That would be terrifying.
Yeah, it's going to be a running gag though, ain't it?
Wow, that's a joke I didn't expect from Disney.
Yep. It's a bit too real from Disney.
It's not real. It's a very silly fucking joke that kids definitely won't get, but...
Mm-hmm.
Like, not to be funny, but there are multiple recording studios in the world. So,
Yeah.
if they really wanted to make this work, they could have just, booked studio time in cities they're touring to.
Yeah. Like Memphis. There's like multiple in Memphis.
Yeah, and some of them are real cheap too.
Yeah. How Elvis got big.
It's only expensive if you want to record in like Abbey Road, and even then, it wasn't expensive when the Beatles did it.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. They want to not show piracy, but like, just fucking put it into YouTube and listen to the songs.
Yeah, well, that too, but also I think they're specifically buying vinyls for being hipsters.
Like, it's a TV show, so it will pay off, but this is a incredibly stupid idea.
Oh, yes. Like, all they have to do is Google you.
Well, okay, to be fair, I do believe that...
it's Muppets.
It's Electric Mayhem. I don't think they own a computer.
Yeah.
That is such a fucking band thing to do as well.
It is.
Here's the thing.
The little visual of the ring light.
I didn't even notice that, but like, how much of a bump would you get if like a world famous band just stumbled into your live stream?
Yeah.
Did you just kick your sister out of her own house?
It seems so.
Fucking dickhead. I thought Mai Tai was a type of soup. I didn't realise it was an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah. It's we'll be sipping Mai Tais. Is what is a line in a song.
They're fair. Alright, man, this is a thing that's actually real. Like, a lot of people start projects where they're like, we're all the boss because we don't want anyone to have power over the other people because we're all mates. And it's like, in a professional setting, someone needs to be in charge.
Yeah. Like, even if it's a case of, okay, you've got roles. This person is the idea person. This person is the person telling the idea person that it's stupid.
Yeah. Thinking of anyone in particular when you say that, Rick? For a second, I thought he had a chihuahua in his hands, not a fucking foam hose.
Yeah. Oh, it is a foam hose. I thought it was just a regular hose that he's nicked.
I mean, it could be, but I assume it's going to pump foam.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like that kind of vibe. Yeah, Bill. Okay, if you don't know, he owns NWA.
Sure.
Which is a wrestling organisation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dickhead, mate.
I totally understand her where she's coming from. And now the foam is cotton wool.
Okay. It doesn't look like cotton wool to me.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it is jiggling. Okay.
Oh, does he fucking hate her?
I'm assuming so.
They took our weed in '08! I do like the touch that they've got such an old, busted van that, like, if it stops, it's like, no, we need to go down a hill. Otherwise it ain't going again.
Yep.
Dun dun dun! I absolutely love that he says recalized.
Yeah, recognize you.
That sounds like a fucking racial slur, doesn't it?
Yeah, smegeggies, yeah.
Okay, former lovers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least he dumped her because he knew he was going to be fucking loads of women and didn't string her along.
Yeah. I love how his glasses are his eyebrows as well.
Muppet biology is weird, man.
Yep.
Oh.
Before she went vegan.
I was going, because fucking Meatloaf's dead, but...
Yeah.
Well, you can't expect Animal to fucking read the sign.
Yeah, he thinks an H is a W. Some London storm.
Nobody do. Surprised it's taken this long to get our first musical interlude, not counting Rock and Roll All Night.
Yeah, the first original music.
I don't think this is original music, but okay. Oh, maybe it is.
Yeah, it sounds Muppety.
I need to paint my wagon. I need to paint it good.
We ain't bragging. We're gonna soak that wood.
I can't believe that's a real movie. For the longest time, I generally thought Simpsons was taking the piss.
Yeah. And it is a real movie, but it's not about painting your wagon.
No. You know what? Actually looks pretty decent.
Yeah, it does good. It does look good, actually.
Oh, no.
Man, okay. Except he did. Yeah, I was going to say they're going to take that as a compliment.
Mm. Like, the band doesn't give a fuck. They'll just go back on tour.
Yeah.
Oh, what famous person is it going to be? Oh, Danny Trejo, no!
Idiots.
I absolutely love that whenever Danny Trejo plays himself in a thing, he always plays himself as an anti to his usual stereotype.
Yeah. Just a party soft fella.
Man, there's quite a sad post where he described himself breaking down while hugging Kermit the Frog. Because when he was filming for, it must have been one of the Muppet movies, his mother had passed away, and obviously he was in a different country. He was filming wherever they were filming Muppets. I think it might have even been in the UK. And everyone was saying, "Oh, we feel sorry to hear about your loss and all that." And he's like, "It's okay." And he put up the it's fine, it's all good. And then Kermit the Frog said, "I'm sorry to hear about your mother," in the Kermit the Frog voice, and apparently that just broke him, and he started crying and hugged Kermit the Frog, and I'm like,
I get it.
It tugs at the fucking heartstrings to hear that shit.
Mm-hmm.
At least I think it was Danny Trejo. Like, you don't need to beg the forgiveness of the Electric Mayhem Band. They've already forgotten whatever the fuck you think you did.
Yeah. Yeah, they're already there, grooving.
Well, Danny Trejo forgave them real quick.
Yeah, he likes it.
uh, I love how even the trumpet player is just like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm. Well, have a little faith in me, apparently, we're getting.
I like how the rest of the band's just like, come on, speed it up, we want to play our bits.
Yep, totally. Like, even when you're just pissing about with instruments and jamming.
Yeah.
It's just, it's like, when do I get to do my bit?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. It's a real song then, I guess.
Hmm. Who got church people?
Yes, all 50 people.
Yeah, yeah. Which is a good show for doing a gig at a house.
Not. Yes.
A shack even.
I was going to say house in quotation marks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Doesn't even have full fucking walls, man.
No.
Well, here's the subplot of the series.
Yeah, the love triangle between Nora, Moog, and Animal.
I don't think. Again, I think people don't actually understand what a triangle is.
Yeah, yeah. It's more like a love arch.
There you go. Like, I've only ever seen one love triangle that was a legitimate love triangle, and that was in the Thin Blue Line of all fucking things. Where, like, the very camp officer has his crush on Habib. Habib had a crush on the random guy, and the random guy had a crush on the camp police officer. That's a love triangle because it's fucking 3 points.
Yeah, yeah. Each one likes the other.
Hey! Do you want to see me naked in a hot tub, says Animal?
Oh?
I like the implication that, like, it's inches thick.
Yeah. Aw.
Oh, fuck. Oh, I love some fucking fourth wall breaking. Good job, Muppets.
Yeah, just Netflix singing it, but over one episode.
Yeah, but I think this all dropped as as one. I actually don't know. It's been a while.
Oh, it's Disney Plus. It normally drops as one, unless it's actually no. Yeah, Disney Plus normally just puts things out one by one, don't they?
Maybe. It's been a while, man. Like, I didn't watch this as it was coming out, therefore I don't know. Oh, that's nice. He was just very Blues Brothers-y, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Interesting that it's credited as ABC.
Yeah, well, Disney owns ABC.
Yeah, it's still interesting.
Yeah, so I guess it was actually originally like shown on TV, maybe.
It could be. Obviously, we don't have ABC in the UK.
Nah, we have the BBC, and it's completely different.
Yeah, although, if you don't watch the BBC, technically speaking, you could say fuck you to the TV licence, and rightly so.
Yeah.
Rick, we got about 2 minutes of foreign language credits, but let's get it out of the way early. What did you actually think of the first episode of Muppet Mayhem?
It was a nice bit of fun. I was not super up on the lore of Electric Mayhem, other than, Animal.
To be fair, dude, I think a lot of it's just made up.
Oh, yeah. I've only ever seen them, perform something as part of a single show rather than, following them around as characters. But yeah, I generally liked it. I don't know if I'll watch the whole thing. I've got a couple of things in the pipeline before that, like Carol. But yeah, it was pretty good so far. How about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I also don't know if I'm going to keep watching this or not, because it seems very apparent what the plot's going to be, and I think the big draw of this series is going to be guessing what guest character they're going to have each episode.
Yeah, and I think we're never going to succeed at that, because things just pop out of nowhere.
But that's what Muppets should be.
Yeah, absolutely. It's celebrities that like the existence of the Muppets just wanting to be on the Muppets.
Yeah, as long as Ricky Gervais doesn't show up again.
Yeah.
But it's one of those where the Muppet Show, back in the 70s this was, guys, so it's probably before a lot of people's times. I used to watch reruns of it on, I don't even remember what channel. It wasn't the Disney Channel, because it was before Disney bought them. But yeah, Either way, I used to watch reruns, and it used to be really fun, because it would be the Muppet Show, and each week would have a different celebrity guest, and the show was about the guest rather than the Muppets.
Yeah, like when they did the Muppets Tonight in the 90s, it was just like, this is the Cindy Crawford episode.
Yeah, man.
Where the Big Bear had the horn for Cindy Crawford.
The Big Bear had the horn for Cindy Crawford. What?
Yep. There was a security guard who was a bear, and every time he tried to talk to her, all he could do was harangue, because he was too horny. And then turns out she knew how to do it too, and it was a happy ending.
I hope not literally.
And Kermit gave her a full name of Cinderella Crawfordopoulos.
Well then. But, you know, I used to, like, I remember a few episodes, like the Mark Hamill episode was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, Miss Piggy was insisting on a Pigs in Space sketch because she wanted to smooch Mark Hamill. But, you know, the ones I remember the most were just musical guests, where you would get a song of that musical guest, but with visuals involving the Muppets. So Alice Cooper did Welcome to My Nightmare, which was great with Muppets. The big gag being that when Alice Cooper came off stage, Kermit went, "Oh wow, you did a really good job. I can't believe you managed to get so many people to help you with your show." And Alice Cooper said, "What people?" And then Kermit's just like shaking, and like Kenny Rogers as well with his Gambler song. The song is called The Gambler, and they had Muppets with human hands, which was really off-putting to child me, but it's a really well done little musical video to go with the song.
Yeah, fair enough.
So basically what I'm saying is, the long and short of it is, I wanted this series to be more like that, and I know that was a bit of a stretch, but with the amount of guest cameos they've already had in just episode 1, I'm quietly optimistic that it might actually be good.
Yeah, totally.
But yes, let's get to our usual proper wind down, shall we, Rick? Do you have a standout favourite moment?
I think when they revealed the house and Danny Trejo was like, what the fuck? It's the house and Danny Trejo after they painted the house.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you. It was a very good moment.
Yep.
Anytime Danny Trejo shows up in a thing playing himself and he plays an
a party soft guy.
Yeah, it's so good. I love it because for many reasons. One, it's just funny because everyone knows Danny Trejo is a resident hard man. But on the flip side, it also gives off a nice message of Danny Trejo is actually a softer person in reality, and it's okay for men to be soft.
Yeah, totally. And like, it was you that told me about it, but like every time he's a villain in something, he has to die. So
yeah, so if he doesn't die in something, that means he wasn't a villain. Like, he was in Sons of Anarchy as a cartel boss, but the cartel he was working with the CIA, so therefore he didn't get killed off.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I like that little intricacy there. I'm assuming that from that you got the same favourite moment, but I will just ask, what was your favourite moment?
I mean, it was a toss-up between that and another moment, so I'm going to say the other one, and that was the detail of Billy Corgan, lead singer of the Smashing Pumpkins, showing up and being like, we're just going to set up a wrestling ring, because if you didn't know he was the owner of NWA, that's a nice little nod.
Yeah.
Billy Corgan fucking loves wrestling.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can't only talk about the good, we also have to talk about the bad. So let's get into it. Rick, what is your weakest link?
I think Nora's characterization was all over the place, from being someone who doesn't understand music to someone who she seems to take no kind of like reverence of other people's hopes, dreams, and needs when it comes to her sister, and then to being told that actually she was a very good big sister when she had to become sister mother.
It's very bizarre, because one moment it's like, here's her on a pedestal. Oh, we've whipped the pedestal away. Oh, we've put the pedestal back. But they've done that in one episode.
Yeah. So, yeah, the characterization within the episode, was all over the place. I'm not saying I hate the character. I'm just saying that she seems like multiple characters mushed into one. How about you? What was your weakest link?
Yeah, my weakest link's going to be, it's very obvious what the plot's going to be, which isn't a bad thing for a Muppets show. It's the Muppets. It doesn't need to be deep. You don't have to keep guessing. But it's the type of story where I'm like, this is going to be a struggle to watch.
Yeah, maybe so.
We know we're going to get at least one song per episode. It looks like they're going to aim for at least 3.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, the only thing I'm actually looking forward to is seeing guest appearances and seeing how they poke fun at them, basically.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, that brings us to the creme de la creme of questions, the most important one in my opinion. Rick, who gets your MVP?
I'm going to give it to Lily Singh, Nora's actor, because she was very animated. I think she's a good pick for essentially a kid's show, in that you could just see from her facial expressions that she was just enjoying chewing the scenery with her acting, you know?
I never once doubted the fact that she lives in a world where Muppets are a thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There was no flinching or anything. And the comedic timing was generally pretty good as well on, reacting to Animal mostly. So basically, as much as the character was all over the place, I think the actress really knocked it out of the park. But yes, how about you? Who's going to get your MVP?
I'm going to give it to Dr. Teeth, because
Yeah.
Honestly, if it wasn't for Dr. Teeth, the band literally falls apart.
Yeah, totally.
If he wasn't so willing to roll with the main character's plan, the episode would have fallen apart anyway. But he's the only member of the Electric Mayhem before this series came out with any significant character. You could argue Animal, but Animal's character has always been he's really good at the drums, and if he's not on the drums, he's a fucking animal, so we chain him up.
Yeah. Putting him on the drums lets him get his aggression out.
I do find it weird that they've put so much emphasis on his chain still, when they never chain him up.
Not anymore, no.
It's an odd visual, I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I think Dr. Teeth gets it.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we wrap up today's episode in a nice little bow. That was the first episode of Muppets Mayhem. It's on Disney+, so go and watch it if it tickles your bones. That being said, we do have a comment section down below on YouTube where you can give us your thoughts on the show, what we've spoken about today in general, and hell, even suggestions for future episodes. We do, however, also know that not everyone watches via YouTube, and we do have an audio version of the show. Those people can send us an email at
nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com.
Absolutely. So join us again next week, where I promised a cartoon this week. I lied.
Alright, see you later, everybody.